There's the red light, meaning that we're alive. I always say that red light kind of remind me of that old school game, red light, green light, but you
Oh,
probably
I
don't
was
know
thinking
nothing
you were
about
going to
that.
say red light special.
Oh no. No, not like that. All right, well, let me do my little intro and then we're going to get right on off into it. Hello, everyone. I am Paul Wizzo and welcome to Wizzo Talk. If you'd like to subscribe to Wizzo Talk, the link is in the description or it's strolling right across the bottom of the screen. Just make sure you hit that notification bell because I post according to my guest availability rather than on a fixed schedule. And remember, it is absolutely free, 100% free to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate your support. And if you ever like to be a guest on Wizzo Talk, please, by all means, send me a message on Messenger or Paul Wizzo on Messenger. Send me a message here in the chat. Send me a carrier pigeon, smoke signal, whatever it is, and we will get you on the show because I'm always looking for guests. With all that being said, let me get on over here so we can meet our guest.
Hey, Wizzo. Did you want to introduce me or do you want me to
No,
say
no,
it?
my guests always intro themselves.
Okay. Hi, my name is Nika. I go by Nika. Yeah, I support Wizzo, good guy. I've been on the show quite a few times, and he has a few questions for me in reference to me being a foster parent. So let's go.
All right, Nika. So let me read one more thing here. And I started doing this, but I changed it up because I used to use some real hard, explicit words. So I changed it up just to make it just a little bit more user friendly before all of my sessions, so to speak. So here we go. Wizzo Talk is an unfiltered, unscripted podcast designed for mature audience. If you're uncomfortable with explicit language or direct conversation, this may not be the space for you. We speak openly here without holding back. Don't let strong, explicit words distract you from the powerful message being shared. So I kind of read that because a couple of other times we get the going left, and this podcast is definitely not for kids. However, this here is a one-on-one session, and I don't think we may drop too much of the alphabet explicit language in here, but sometimes you never know.
This is
And just to say this, if someone happened to post a comment, I will put it in on the screen, or you should be able to see it off in the chat also, just in case you like to answer those right there. So I have about, I don't know, a number of questions for you. And it's kind of like the old Baptist preachers say, we ain't gonna be long. You know, whenever they say that, they lying. So
exactly. You see, I smile.
they're gonna be a long time. But I just have some questions. A couple of them just gonna ask your opinion, and then we're gonna get right on off into some of the ones about foster care and foster parent and so forth and so on. So here's one just for you, just asking your opinion about it if you have one. And if I ask any question that you don't want to answer or you're not comfortable with, by all means, you already know what to do. Just say, Wizzo, I ain't gonna be able to do that one. And I ain't gonna be mad at you because I can't be. I seen your energy level. You've been and walked all over my ass, and we ain't trying to do none of that. Okay, here we go. So, in your opinion, does a man have any justified authority over a woman's body? I mean, can he tell a woman what to do with his body, just in your opinion?
It depends. I know you probably want a yes or no. Do you want a yes or
No,
no?
no, I don't. I don't want to answer. It's however you want to answer. That just
It depends. I don't think it's a yes or no.
okay.
Um, it is my body, and in reference to abortion and things of that nature, men need to shut the fuck up.
Okay.
It's not your body. Wait, you say no, but I am married. So being that I am married and I respect my husband, um, a lot of the decisions I make with my body, how he feels, it does matter to me. True enough, we're individuals, but I want him to, when it comes to my body, like, well, heck, even if you want to talk about abortion, I'm too old to get pregnant now. But if I were to, I'm naming the baby Moolah because I'm gonna be rich. But anyways, so um, if I were to get pregnant now and I wanted to have an abortion, being that we are married, that is something that we definitely need to discuss. And it's not just my body. That's just my opinion. It is my body, but I'm carrying something that belongs to him as well. So his opinion does matter. When it comes to altering my body and things of that nature, um, I would kind of talk to him first about it, even in reference to gaining weight. And I know a lot of women are against me and they think you're shallow. True enough, we do gain weight, but I'm a realist. If I met you and you were looking a certain way, I'm gonna need you to kind of hold yourself accountable.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So in reference to my body, I know I've gained a lot of weight, but if I just get morbidly obese and sloppy and there's no medical condition, yeah, he got a right to leave me.
Okay.
That's the way I feel.
All right. Just I'm gonna throw one little more piece to that. Does a third party male have the authority to tell you what to do with your body?
Hell no.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. All
Hell
right.
no.
Gotcha. All right, that worked. So here's another one. Just this is just some research that I've done before this right here, and then after this question, I'm going to get right on off. And what's not a question after this little statement? I'm gonna get right on off into my questions for you. But I just looked this up today, and as of today, from my research, I got that in my notes right here. Approximately 368,530 children are in foster care in the United States. And when I researched that before I thought about interviewing you, it was about 400 some thousand. It said on any day, approximately 400 some thousand kids are in foster care. And that's what we're going to talk about right today. That's some of the questions that I have for you. So here we go. And to the guests that's watching right now, to the viewers that's watching, if you have any comments, please post them in the chat and I'll share them on the screen. We appreciate you watching. So I just what was going on, in your life that made you feel like, I want to open up my house to foster care, to foster a child or children. So what was going on to make you come to that decision?
I've always wanted to do it. Basically, when I was young, I was people. A lot of people labeled me. A lot of people labeled me and said I was bad and things of that nature. Not realizing, I think for every, I don't think there's really a such thing as a bad child. I think that most children, they're born innocent. They're taught to be evil and things of that nature. And for every bad child, I think it's cause and effect. Something in their life that's happened that's made them that way. So everyone was labeling me as the bad kid, not realizing I was molested from fourth to seventh grade. And then I was being so, and then my ex, not my current stepmom, but my ex stepmom didn't treat me the best. And I love my mom to death, but my biological, I mean, there's just a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? So then everybody's like, oh, she's so bad. Oh, she's this, she's that. No, 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 no. I'm angry. I'm hurt. I'm angry. I'm disappointed. So what made me want to do foster care is just because I feel like, and then especially in a black community, in a black household, we were raised, children are seen and not heard. And I call bullshit. Children are seen and not heard. We say that. And that's why Uncle Chester is molesting and rubbing on everybody. And we got some Chelsea's too. I ain't gonna just say, that's why children are being molested and no one's speaking up. Because you're telling them children are seen and not heard, but yet you're putting them in adult situations. You want them to babysit the kids. You want them to do this. You want to do that. So therefore, I was like, in my household with my own biological children, it's like, we're not doing that. Children are seen, not heard. If you're angry, it's okay to say you're angry. It's okay to say an adult is a liar because you know what? Adults are liars.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So that was my main reason for doing it. Being the voice, being the person that wasn't there for me. And then I had a few people I knew, a few aunts that were foster parents. And I had one aunt who was not my biological aunt, but I called her my aunt. She was a friend of my mom's. Her name was Tracy. And she was a foster parent and she was phenomenal. And I could tell she really loved the kids. And so I used to just look at her as a little girl in awe. And she was always nurturing to me. So she made me want to do it. And then I had an aunt, a real aunt that was a foster parent. And she's dead now.
Okay.
She if there's a hell, she's in it.
Mm.
She was by far one of the worst foster parents I've ever seen in my life. And I saw how horrible she used to treat the children. And I was just a little girl. As a matter of fact, she was my mom's foster parent because my mom was placed in foster care. I even saw the way she treated my mom. She was just an evil, ugly woman.
Right.
Pretty face, but her spirit, her energy was ugly. And so I just felt like I wanted to be a difference. So I'm happy I was able to have her as an example because she was an example of who I did not want to be. And whereas my aunt Tracy, who is still alive, was an example of who I wanted to be and what I wanted to represent.
Okay, gotcha. All righty then. Say if there is a hell, she's in it.
Yes.
Whoosh. All righty. So now I heard you say that you was married, but I don't think heard you say how many kids do you have. Not count foster kids, but how many kids do you have?
So, as you know, we're a blended family. So together we have five girls, but biologically I have three.
Three.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay.
And
Okay.
you've met all three of my girls.
Yes. Yes. I have a. Oh yes, that's
You
right.
were
I
on
was
your
I
show
met two, but I met the other one at the
at dance.
at this.
So
Okay.
you've met all three of the biological girls.
Right. 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 Okay. Gotcha. And I have this on my list, but you already answered it because I was going to ask you. At what age did you think about fostering kids? And you just said that you've been thinking about it like forever.
Yeah. And I just didn't have the means and stuff. And now, thank goodness for my awesome husband who supported me. So I was able to buy a house specifically just for me to be a foster parent. And that's what I'm doing right now. My husband's, he's kind of that dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I met him too. He's cool as a fan. All right. So I'm gonna move on to another one right here with all of my questions. Again, to all of the viewers that's watching right now, if you like to, somebody say, "Well, damn." I don't know what he was saying, "Well, damn," to, but he said, "Well, damn."
Probably about if there's a hell, she's there, I would assume.
Okay, so I'm gonna go on to my next question for you right here, and so were your own kids still living at home when you first considered being a foster parent? And what was that conversation like with them and your husband? So because kids sometimes can be jealous. So were they there? What were their ages or whatever?
So my adult, well, all of them are adults now, but the two oldest, they were not there, but they knew it was something I wanted to do. I initially actually started out with one agency when my middle daughter was there. She was in high school, but then the more I worked with that agency, they wanted me to go to church and do all these other different things, which I don't knock church,
Right,
but I'm not fake, and I know how I'm going to be rearing these children. And I'm not going to just give you what you want
right.
just to, check the box. So
Mhm.
I didn't want to do all that. And I'm going to be honest, I was devastated. She actually, because told her I didn't want to. And then she told me I needed to go. They wanted me to go to counseling first for me being molested. And at that time, I was still dealing with that kind of heavy. And so I basically told her no. So they basically said I wasn't the agency for them. So I was devastated. So I just backed off and didn't do it for years.
Right.
And then when I finally came back and did it, my other daughter was grown. They were living in New York doing their thing. And I decided to do it with my baby, but who is now 19. But even with her, I wanted to wait the more I thought about it. And I'm happy I did until she was in high school. Because that might be a question for you, so I won't jump that far
That's
ahead.
okay. That's okay. I
Okay.
mean, go ahead.
So the reason why is because these foster kids come with so much trauma. You know what? I think I'm going to close my door.
Okay.
I apologize,
That's all
but
right.
I don't want any of the children to hear me. I'm in my office. So as I was saying, they come with so much trauma. And then on top of that, it's like, it's not even about, well, yeah, that your biological children get jealous because I've seen that with my own daughter,
Right.
but the fosters get really jealous.
Mhm.
And it's like I tell them all the time, it will always be fair, but it might not always be equal. And I hate that I have to say that, but that's just real talk.
Right.
So my daughter, the 19-year-old, she's a little spoiled. My husband spoils her. So for example, he buys her, she calls herself having shoe game, as they call it. So she has like all these Jordans and stuff like that. He'll just buy her Jordans, just, it's not a big deal for him.
Yeah.
And if we have it, he'll do it. So I had one, and she was 18 at the time, no, 17, and a foster kid. I do buy them name brand, but I don't just buy it. I mean, I get $25 a day per kid.
Yeah.
So I have to be realistic. So I'm not going to let you look less than. You're going to have a nice pair of Nikes, but I can't, I don't have it like that with them to just be buying Jordans and just, I don't. So she would do things like, and it would hurt me. She would send me pictures in her cell phone, a text, and she'd be like, "Ooh, Miss Nika, look at these Jordans. Ooh, you like those?" She would never really ask, but she would bring it up all the time.
Right.
And then, like one of the children I have now, they make comments, you know, "Ooh, we saw she has this, she has that. Ooh, ooh, ooh." And I can tell, you know, I sense the energy and
Yeah.
it hurts me. But like I tell them, it'll always be fair, but not equal, unfortunately.
Right. Got you. I got you. Understand that. So, do you feel there's a difference in how you raise foster kids as opposed to how you raise your own kids?
Oh, hell yeah. So,
That
first off,
facial, that facial expression right there was killer.
yeah. So you have to choose your words wisely, and you have to remember these kids come with trauma. So, like for example, um, you have to pick and choose your battles as well.
Okay.
So, I and my biological children would never just casually have a conversation with me and start swearing. Now, my adult ones will, well, they do now, but even when they do, it's like, "Oh my God, mom, I'm so sorry. I apologize." You know what I'm saying? But and they never did it in high school because had they did it in high school, it would have been a whole, you know, it wouldn't have worked out well for them.
Right.
Um, but with the teens I have now, that's their everyday thing. So it's nothing for them to be like, well, just start cursing, you know. They're like, well, shit, you know. And
Yeah.
so opposed to me going off, I just have to pick and choose my battles. And it's just like, hey, remember, watch your words.
Yeah.
You just have to remind them. Like for instance, hygiene. So I raised my kids to where my biologicals, they weren't allowed to get in the bed without showering. That was just unacceptable for me. But these kids come with so much trauma, so many things they aren't used to. So now I would not, and before, because it's a learning process. I'd be like, oh, heck no, you're going to get in that shower. You're going to get in that shower. And then
Yeah.
you see the trauma and see the resentment and see them shut down. They get, you know what I'm saying? And then you automatically assume that they know, where a lot of them, unfortunately, they really don't know. I
Right.
had one kid that literally urinated on the seat. And well, he corrected me and I said, you urinated on my seat. I said, every time, I said, what I'm gonna need you to do, I'm gonna need you to, and I actually gave him an example. I said, I'm gonna need you to pee, wipe, wash, pee. And I explained that to him. But when I said it at first, my words weren't kind. I just went up, I opened the toilet. It was like, what the, this is disgusting. And I
Yeah.
walked. And I said, you know better. How could you not? And he's like, well, it wasn't on the seat. He said it was on the rim.
Mm.
And I was like, he said, long as it's not on the seat where anybody else has to sit, it doesn't matter. So I had to pull myself back. And I said, I came back later because I went in and I apologized. And I said, you know what? I'm sorry. You have to realize that your normal is not their normal.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I came back and I said, you know what, baby? I apologize. I said, and that's when I told him, taught him pee, wipe. You know, I said, anytime you urinate anywhere, you need to wipe it immediately.
Yeah.
You know, so just different things that we think that everybody knows. To brush your teeth twice a day. I've never had a kid to brush their teeth twice a day. Never,
Yeah.
never, never. Even teenagers,
Mhm.
and that just baffles me.
Yeah.
Mouthwash, deodorant. I mean, some of the things. I've had my first kid that knew how to tie his shoe a few weeks ago.
What?
Yes, outside of the teenagers, but
Right.
I had one that was 11 and had no clue how to tie his shoe, and my husband had to teach him. So
Right.
just different things that you would assume, like, boy, you know better.
Yeah.
They really don't.
I don't know.
I had one kid that had to wear headphones because of different sounds would like trigger him.
Right.
Um, and it was so funny. He was a white kid, and I didn't realize that he really been around a lot of black people, and I had him for over a year.
Oh.
And I took him to meet my brother, and my brother has like a really deep voice. You know, my brother saw him say, "Hey, what's up, young man?" And he took off running. And I said, "What is wrong with you?" He said, "I have stage fright." And I'm like, stage fright, you're not performing for anyone. What are you talking? But I had to realize like he was in a different environment. It was so many black people around. It was my brother standing there, my husband standing there. You know, we're all, and he's like this white kid. So I had to be considerate of that. and realize, and I don't want to even, I don't believe in, yeah, it's a big difference. I know you feel like I'm just going to rant, but it's a significant difference. It's a significant difference. You have to realize too, you have to choose your words wisely. You can't just constantly, and you have to learn to redirect. And then another thing, you know how when your kids do something, you're like, you're on punishment for a week, a
Right.
month. You can't do that with them. You have to do it day by day. I've learned
Okay.
because that's the way their life has been going anyways. So
Right.
I've learned that as well. I'll take a privilege for a day. Even though it might be something big, I might even do a weekend, depending on what the scenario is. But you can't do like weeks and months with them because they already have this trauma. And then when they're sitting, their mind is their anger, they're boggling up, they get suicidal thoughts, they get, so yeah,
Right.
it's a significant difference. And you can't hit them, which
Right.
I don't really condone hitting kids anyways, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But you
Right.
can't,
Uh,
no, there's no corporal punishment. You
right.
can't even like make them clean as a punishment.
Right.
So yeah,
Well, I mean, but to your biological kids, a chokehold is not hitting them. If you put them in a drop, that's not, no.
just get one time.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. This wasn't one of mine, but it just come up in the conversation. So when you go into, are you briefed on the type of trauma that the kids go through when or they just saying, here you go, figure it out?
Yes and no.
Okay.
For me, not necessarily because I'm considered an emergency placement. Everyone is not. I
Oh,
don't have the desire to adopt. I'm going to be honest. I don't have the desire, and I don't think that desire will ever change. Um, so I'm an emergency. So an
that's right.
emergency, they'll call me at 1 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes Joe and Maria just got into a fight. They both went to jail. They went in the house. The house has drugs. The house is dirt, whatever. So they're picking up Timmy and Tanya in the middle of the night.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they don't have time to find out anything about this kid. The only thing they know is they went in the house, Joe and Maria was high, and the kids were, and we need to bring these kids to you immediately. Will you accept them? And it's up to me to say yes or no. You can pick by gender, age, race, sexuality. You have the option to pick all of that.
Okay. That's what I was going to ask. That was one of my other questions, whatever. But I didn't realize that you was an emergency replacement. I didn't know that. So I'm glad you brought that up because I had no idea that you were. So you get a call 1, 2 in the morning, whatever happens, they need somebody to replace these kids, ask you if you'll take them in. Okay.
Exactly. That's the case. But now sometimes I will get to read a file. Like I've gotten to read a file on some of them. And but it's still so unless they've been in the system for a really long time, if they haven't been in the system for a long time, sometimes what they have in there is such a small portion. And then some of the time, the labels that they have are absolutely horrible.
Right.
But it's like the one little boy I just had not that long ago. They had he's been in the system off and on for years, poor baby. He and his sister. And they had that he was a fighter, aggressive, like all the things they had, just like labels, labels, labels.
Right.
But when I got the kid, I didn't see that in him. And what they failed to realize, yeah, he is a fighter. You know why he's a fighter? Because he's in a shelter with his sister. You just put him from his home and he's scared to death. So hell yeah, he's a fighter. He didn't just wake up fighting. You know what I'm saying? It's cause and effect. So tell me the why. Don't just label this kid as this.
Gotcha. Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. And let me just say this to the viewers that's watching out there now. We're talking about foster parent. So if you have any questions or anything, just put them in the chat and I'll share them on the screen. We appreciate it. So let me ask you this. How do you respond to people that say foster parents are just in it for the money?
$25 a day. Now, for someone, I mean, not trying to brag, Wizzle, but I live a decent life, and I was living a decent life before this.
Right.
Actually, I might be somewhat more in the negative now, if you really want to know. Truth be told, I make
Right.
$25 a day.
Mhm.
So I have had some of them say it. So I mean, if that gets you, if that makes you moist off of $25 a day, your life ain't sitting on much, okay? And I feel sorry for you. And I do feel there are some people who maybe do it, just but and I've taken my kids to Kalahari.
Mm,
I rented a whole game truck and allowed all the neighborhood children to come, and I paid for the game truck. I could see the pictures.
mm. Woo. I believe
So,
it.
I mean,
Yeah,
make it make sense. And
exactly.
then I just got back from Aruba. When I went to Aruba, I had to pay someone to keep him. Well, my daughter would have did it for free, but I had to find someone licensed if they chose to keep him. I had to pay for that.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So that $25 is somebody out there talking about somebody doing it for the money. They need to think about it then.
Yeah, so I've heard people say it, and every
Yeah.
time they say it, I check them. And I even put it on Facebook one time. It's like I tell them, if you're not a problem, if you're not doing anything about it, you're part of the problem. Until you become a foster parent, shut the hell up, because you're not doing nothing but talking, and then you're ruining it for the people who do have good intentions, who are doing it for the right reasons. So that is one of the things that burn me up. If you've never donated, if you've never contributed your time, your money, anything, shut the hell up. Your opinion means nothing.
Right. I got you on that right there. And I would say something along that lines too, from my first question that I asked you earlier, but I don't want to go there because this is not about me right
But
now.
the pay is going up daily, though. I'm going to put that. I just got things they're saying they're going to raise the pay. Ooh, ooh. So, which is good, but it's still nothing that, it ain't nothing to be like, oh, I'm about, please.
Right, right,
And
exactly.
then they check your income and everything before you do it. They check your income, they check your bank account, they check all those things. You have to be qualified. Now, are there some people probably living, probably not in a decent environment and just throwing the kids in there with them?
Right.
But if people can see the life that I provide these children, it's a total, like, all my rooms, and I'm not bragging, Paul, all my rooms, and a lot of face parents are all my bedrooms. I can show you where you come over. They all have TVs mounted in the bedrooms for all the children.
Mm, I heard that. That's all right. And by let me just back up. This is not one of my questions, but by being in an emergency, I don't want to say drop off, but emergency foster parent, um, you don't know how long you may have them. Huh? It can be a week till they finish their investigation or something like that, I guess, huh?
You're correct.
Right. Okay. Okay. Well, let me ask you about social media. Are your kids, foster kids, allowed to be on social media? And do you monitor their social media?
That's funny you asked. So, no, they're not allowed to be on social media. If you notice, I'll post a picture occasionally, and whenever I do, I'll always put like an emoji over their face.
Right.
Like, I'll do a video, but you won't be able to actually see them in the video. You could just hear their voices. So, no, for their protection and whatever, and especially some of them, their parents don't know where they are.
Right.
So, no, you cannot put them on social media, not with their faces showing. Are they allowed on social media? At one point, they weren't. Yes, now they are. However, which is so hilarious to me, and it's funny that you asked this. Um, so if my kids are at a certain age, I do provide cell phones. If I don't provide cell phones for all of my kids, no, I don't. But if they're like 14 and 13 and above, you know, I'll provide them a cell phone. Um, so my case manager told me, so I let her know that I do believe it. I did it with my biologicals, and I did it with them as my foster babies as well. Um, I told her how we believe in checking social media, we check text messages, and she came back later and said they had a meeting about it, and they discovered that I am not, because I am violating their rights.
What? What?
Yes. So I was livid. I was livid. And like I explained to her, that's why Tommy's blowing up buildings, because we're not looking at social media. I was like, oh my God, not Tommy. But Tommy was making a bomb in his bedroom. He sent a text message telling his friends he was making a bomb, and said, you didn't
Exactly.
look, Tommy that blew up the school. And everybody like, oh my God, not Tommy. Yes, Tommy. Tommy's the bomb blower, and it's your fault. The blood is on your hands because you could have stopped it. So,
Exactly.
yes. So basically, what I did around that, and I told her it will still stand, and I'm not changing. I make so many sacrifices to do this, but my house
Right.
is my sanctuary, and I will feel safe in my home. Um, and so basically, she told me it was prohibited. I can't check it anymore. So I spoke to an attorney that lives in my neighborhood, and she's an attorney for children. And what she advised that I do, and I love that she gave me this idea, I make them sign a contract now. And
Oh,
the contract states, I will be looking through the phone. The contract states the phone does not belong to you. The
yeah.
contract states, I will take the phone back at any time. I'm even going to do a new contract because some children do come with their own electronic devices. They do. I'm going to do another contract. Any electronic device that comes in this home, it will be checked randomly. If you don't agree with that, you cannot have your electronic devices here, and you will sign and you will agree.
Right. Gotcha.
Yes. So
That's
I
good.
did do that, and I did, and I told her. She said, "Well, what you can do? You can talk to the like director. You can, no, I ain't talking to nobody. Because anybody doesn't have to run my house. Because when
Right.
y'all sleeping, and I don't think y'all do is storm in the house and go about your day. Most, well, let me. Sometimes when it comes to CPS and stuff,
Yeah.
it's a broken system. So yes, yeah. So basically, yes, I do have a binder in my drawer, and I do type up my contracts, and I do believe that they sign contracts. Yes, they
Okay.
do.
That'll work. Yes, most definitely. So you got that good for that lawyer being in the neighborhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let him come again and say he's not supposed to. I'm saying you're right, but look at where he signed.
Yeah.
He agreed to it.
Exactly. Gotcha. All right, that'll work. So let me talk about let me ask you about like holidays and birthdays because some of the kids coming from traumatized don't really celebrate them, birthday holidays don't, so how is it, how does celebrate the birthdays, holidays and stuff like that? Or do you even celebrate any holidays and birthdays?
So I love to decorate, like especially for Christmas. I put up 3 trees. I was doing that even before then. It's just what I love to do. But I'm not big on gifts. So I think that gifts are. I don't believe in gift giving. I just don't. I think a calendar shouldn't tell you to be kind to someone.
Yeah,
I'm not going in debt because society tells me that I should. I'm just not
exactly.
going to do it.
Yeah.
Um, but for them, I will say this for Christmas, the CPS, well, different organizations have helped me tremendously for Christmas. And for Christmas, I will buy a few items because I do want them to have good memories and I don't want them to go back to school. And you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
my husband and I, we don't exchange gifts. I don't believe in that. But for the foster children, I get things if I've heard different things that they brought up, like I sure like to have this. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let me put it in my Amazon cart.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they come
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and as far as the donations for Christmas, they do really well. They literally ask that every child make it a list, and they literally get everything on that list.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And for their birthday, I do believe in celebrating birthdays. Yes. Matter of fact, when I told you I rented the game truck, yes, I do believe in that. So yeah, I've taken them out to dinner, grain trucks, stuff. So yeah, I'm big on that.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good. I know some people, with birth, with holidays and everything like that. Now, knowing what I know now, I don't. But birthday is different. So all them days to Christmas. Anyway, we ain't talking about me. We talking about.
Yeah, right. But I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going broke because yeah, and I don't even. I can't stand people like, "Well, let's have a white elephant, white gift exchange." I don't get caught up in any of that mess.
Yeah.
To me, a lot of it's not sincere. It's not organic. I'm buying something, and how about I keep my money, you keep yours, and we buy what we want, and everybody's happy. Like,
Just like that. Yes.
and then, I mean, you buy what you want because if I really care about you and I like you, I'm gonna just buy you a gift just because I just think you're a special person, and I
Right.
just want to do something for you.
Just like that. Too easy. Okay. So let me ask you this then. What do you say to someone out there that's thinking about, I think I want to be a foster parent, but I don't know if I want to be, I didn't know the difference, like you said, in emergency. So someone's out there right now that may be thinking about becoming a foster parent. What would you say to them? What was your advice to them?
I love it. I call them some of them, especially like the one little boy I had. I used to call him my little emotional support baby. He was. He still called. So let me tell you what's so crazy about him. He's gone into the system, unfortunately, twice. So the second time he went in, he just was like, "Can you just call me Sneaker?" And they were like, "We have this kid." I said, "Bring me my baby." So he's come to visit just to hang out. I think he started thinking we were like his grandma and granddad or something, or his
Yeah.
auntie. Um, so with saying that, I love it. But I would say this, I'm going to be honest, and I tell everyone this. If you have small children, I don't think it's wise because a lot of them do come with trauma. I've even witnessed me having an older foster child and then I'll get a younger foster child later. And because I have to show more attention to the younger foster child, the older foster child will start to act out.
Uh,
So can you imagine with having your own biological child?
Yeah.
They will. They don't want to be. They don't want it. They don't want to, but when you have trauma and that jealousy kicks in. So I tell everybody, I say, I think you should definitely wait until your child is, I would say, at least 14, to where your child kind of is doing their own thing. They're in sports and they have their own friends. And then another thing, they have so many expectations. I know this is going to sound horrible. It's like, there's no way, I'm sorry, I'm hot. There's no way I could be a foster parent if I didn't have my husband. I couldn't do it.
Right.
When you get a foster kid, even emergency placement, you have to have them at their, it's called a 3-day doctor's appointment. I wish I could show you. They literally give me a checklist, but I don't even know if I could be showing you this. I don't know if you
Okay.
can see.
Yeah.
But they give me a checklist. So on the checklist, it's all the things that you have to do. So you have to have the child at the doctor and at the dentist within 3 days.
Damn.
Can you imagine if you had a job and if you were a single person?
Yeah.
And you have to have it, and then you have to have all this doctor. So then I have a binder that I carry with me when I take them to the doctor. The binder identifies who I am, so it shows that I have their medical consent. I
Right.
have to show them that. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Then after that, I need to do a body check, a 7-day check. Check their body, make sure it's no bruises or anything like that. See anything I recognize. It's like it's this. They have a lot of expectations. They're just it to me. I know several people that were single and working in foster parents and quit because they said it was too much.
Too much. Yeah.
I have attorneys calling me. I have CPS calling me. I have case managers calling me. So I have my own personal case manager. Then, if they feel like the kid, if it's a teenager, they might feel the kid needs rehab. I have somebody from rehab calling. You got to take them to a rehab appointment. They're all in therapy. You have to take them all to their therapy appointments. Then, after their 3-day, they have a 30-day visit. The 30-day visit is mandatory. I feel like it's very unrealistic. And then yet they say, but you got to have a job to do it. I can't have no job because y'all fools keep calling me.
Woo. Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
in other words,
the system is broken.
yeah. Yeah.
They
They
have
love
all these high expectations, and it's like, so let somebody tell me I'm doing it for the money again. So I originally tried to do it while I was still working, and it was just too much.
right.
If I decided to go back into the workforce, I would probably, well, I don't desire to resist my passion. I want to go bigger with this. Told you I want to open a shelter and different things.
Yeah.
But that's the goal, to open up a transitional home.
Right.
But yeah, it's like it's not, yeah, it's a lot. I would recommend, if I know I'm rambling, I'm sorry. But if someone
Oh,
were
you
to do
good.
it,
I'm making a note of something.
okay, I would tell someone, if you were to do it, make sure you have a support system.
Yeah.
Make sure you have a flexible job, or either you're retired and no small children.
Yeah.
But far as the way that when I went to Aruba, I just got back.
Yeah.
My foster kids were blowing me up. My biologicals didn't call me not one time. My fosters, are you okay? We miss you. Just checking on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're so like, I take them to Five Below. So when they do good things, their reward is Five Below, and they go in Five Below, and they're just like,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like rewarding me.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. So let me ask you this. I seen your energy level firsthand from swing line dancing and all that. I mean, I'm seeing you gone, you rolling. How in the world? I know the kids can't keep up with you. I mean, it's just no way. So I mean, you have to bring it down a notch when you're around the kids. I know, because I mean, I seen you go. So I'm just asking, do you bring it down a notch for them? Or do they got to keep up?
They better keep up. They better keep up. I even told the foster care agency, because it was so funny. She's like, because I have to write a report every month on every kid that I get.
Okay.
I have to do like a weekly report so I have to submit the report at the end of the month, every month. And I have to do a clothing check to like check your chest looks off and stuff. So I stay busy a lot. So when I do that, I'm in my zone. It's like, no, so I have to do it the end of the month, so they can get it by the first of the month every month. So that's the only time where I'm kind of like, okay, I wear many hats. You know what I'm saying? I'm documenting my notes, or if I'm checking to make sure my house is clean.
Okay.
stuff like that. But other than that, my energy is pretty much like this for the. I mean, sometimes I'll, we all have to decompress,
Yeah.
and with age, hell, Paul, tell you my check engine light is on, baby. 50 ain't no pump, so it's not. But yeah,
Yeah.
but no, but my energy. I mean, I get tired sometimes, but yeah, life is meant to be lived. You can
Yeah.
exist or you can live, and happiness is a choice.
Exactly. And I saw the pictures of y'all in Aruba. I didn't know that's where y'all were, but y'all were having a good time and living it up. That was outstanding right there. That was I like seeing that. So that's good. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. It's like I tell people, if you boring, please don't bring. I don't even know what boring people do for fun. I'm still trying to figure it out.
I heard that. Let me just say to our guests, to our viewers out there watching right now, if you'd like to ask any questions, please post them in the chat. I'll share them on the screen. We appreciate you watching. And remember, it's absolutely free, 100% free to like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate your support. We're talking about being a foster parent. So let me ask you this here. And I'm going to read this one a little bit. I, I have some of this stuff written down, and then some of it I just kind of just skim through it. I don't even read the whole thing, but there are so many foster kids in the United States that's in foster care awaiting adoption. So, how do you feel about when you see, and I know firsthand because people I work with has, when they adopt them internationally instead of adopting? Right now I quoted that we have over 360 some thousand kids in the United States up for adoption, but people going out in adoption, kids out internationally. So, just do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm back to what I said originally. If you're not doing anything about it, your opinion doesn't matter. When
Right.
people even make comments about Oprah, she's taking care of kids, but what have you done for a child? You haven't done it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That even goes back to the men's rights. I don't even listen. I can't really stand politics, but even when start people talk about abortion rights and politics, if you're not a foster parent, if you're not a volunteer, if you never vote donated anything, your opinion means zero.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can say to me. You're talking like a fish. You're just moving your mouth,
Yeah.
but nothing's coming out. You're
Mhm.
just moving.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not a part of the solution. You're a part of the problem.
Right.
So long as you're making a difference in any child's life, does it matter where the child is coming from? Children didn't ask to be here. So if I decide to go get a Sweden white kid from Sweden, which I don't desire, but I'm just saying 'cause it's outside of my race, that's my business because
Right.
I'm
Right.
making a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, I got you. I understand that because I work with a guy. He's adopted, white guy, and adopted. I think he's from Uganda. I think, and I know a couple other people that are adopted international. So, and I agree with you. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
I know it's okay. I agree with you in the fact when just a little bit about the abortion part when people are talking about it and worried about the unborn. What about the ones born? Now, have you done anything? If you hadn't, yet the
And like I tell people when they
yeah,
say that, you're not pro-life, you're pro-born.
yeah,
Because what about I had like the little boy that I told you I used to pick up still, just even when he was no longer in the system. I
right,
remember taking him back home and he cried the whole time I was taking him back home because he didn't want to go back home.
yeah,
They're not dealing with that. And I had one person tell me, and she and I were actually kind of close or whatever. But
right,
I don't care though. I mean, people are like seasons, they change, screw 'em. But anyways, she and I were talking, and she doesn't believe in abortion. And she said, "Well, I saw my baby sonogram. I saw my grandbaby sonogram. It was the most beautiful thing. Oh my God. Well, goody goody gumdrops for you, boo boo. Nobody care about no damn sonogram. Who gives a shit?
yeah, yeah,
I care about what's going to happen to the baby once the baby is out.
yeah,
You get all those warm and fuzzy feelings. But what about that child who's crying because they didn't eat? That child that's crying because the system just came and just ripped them and threw them into my house, and they're trying to figure out who I am. Why am I here? Are my intentions good? Do I really care?
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to feel warm and fuzzy and all that, but nobody gives a damn about a warm and fuzzy. You want to walk warm and fuzzy? Go get a damn bear and hug it and shut the hell up. We're
oh,
talking about a real life here. We're talking about stability. We're talking about mental trauma. We're talking about abuse, sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Several things that these babies are going through. And every single child I've had, I lied to you not, is crazy. Every single solitary foster kid I've had, I lied to you not. Their mom has had a baby younger than them while they were in the system. That blows my mind. Every single one. One lady got pregnant with twins while I was raising her son. And I had her son for over a year. I have not yet had not one child in my presence, in my home, where the mom did not get pregnant again. Not one. Not one.
Crazy. That's crazy.
And yet you tell me abortion is horrible. But whatever.
Man, I tell you, that's something there. So let me, Jim, I appreciate your comment. I see you right there in the comments, God, I know there. So I'm gonna just say this question. I kind of wrote it down, kind of like a little joke, but now that I know that you're an emergency, it's different. But anyway, I was going to ask, what's the selection process like? Do you go to the CPS and say, let me order a 2-piece dark and let me have
actually kind of not like that. I know you're being sarcastic, but no, but you can't be like, I want a dark skin with with dreads. No, but so like for instance, when you first apply, when you take, because I have to take several classes and I have to take monthly classes and stuff too. So when I first apply and with my classes and my trainings and things of that nature, they do ask your do's and your don'ts. So you can pick. So I do have the option and they won't call me. So the only thing, I don't care about race. I know several people who care about race. I could care less about race. I'm here just to love on the babies. I don't care about gender. Some people, you have really church going people, and I've known several of those who don't believe in being gay. I don't care about that. I could care less. The only thing that I deny fire starters. I don't have time to stand over my bed and you trying to set my ass on fire. I can't do that shit. I don't take that. And I will take someone who's been sexually violated, but you have a lot of them that are they act out sexually on other children or they'll perform on themselves.
Right.
Because, I don't desire to do that.
Right.
Yeah. I have no clue. I mean, not no clue. I have no desire to even, I know it sounds messed up, but I don't want to help a sexual predator. I just know.
Right. Okay, that's what's up. Okay. Well, I have about 4 or 5 more questions for you, and then we'll see any closing comments with us. So at least now I know you kind of sort of ask for a 2-piece dark and maybe not or a mix. But
you can deny a kid too.
Yeah, I remember you saying.
And sometimes they do send pictures of the kids. Okay. I think they do this. Yeah, sometimes they do. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you see the picture and you just be like, because I never said I wanted any little kids, but I wanted to get a 6-year-old. And when I saw her picture and read her, I said, oh my God, bring me that baby. I said, bring me that baby. I had to take her. And no, I'm not racist because I take all, but she was a little black girl too. Yeah. And she was in the shelter. I was like, bring me that baby. Bring me that baby. Yeah. Because typically I don't want anyone under 10, but I had to take her. And I don't regret it.
Yeah. Okay. That was what I was going to ask you that the ages, but you just said typically under 10. So, okay.
No, older than 10.
Older than 10.
Yeah. And plus I want the ones because the younger ones, they always tend to go fast, especially the babies. No one wants the older ones, but the older ones are the ones who have the most pain. Yeah. They sing the most. So I want the ones that no one wants because I remember everyone feeling how undesirable I was as a teen. Yeah. So I want to be that voice of reason and I want to let them know like it's okay. It's okay if some days you just don't feel like, everybody say, oh, it's so great to be alive. Well, you should be happy in life. No, fuck you. You don't know what I went through.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So don't tell me how great it is because you don't know my story. So you shut the hell up and stay in your place. So if a child tells me I don't want to be alive, you know what I tell them? Baby, you have every right to feel that way. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're angry. You're hurt. You're trying to figure out why you're with me.
Right.
And you have every right to feel like right now, I just don't want to be alive. But what can we do to, like I tell people, I'm a temporary solution, but I want you to look back at this and just see. I like to show them like my old duplex where I used to live.
Yeah.
Because I love to just to show like, especially when they come in, oh, I love this house. And no, I'm not rich. I'm far from rich. Well, faith, I am rich because faith makes me rich. So
Okay.
I'm rich. But they come in my house and they all say, "Oh my God, the cars, the house," because they come from nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So they out of every kid I've had, except for two, was like, "Oh, are you rich?" And I was like, "No."
No.
But and I like to show them my duplex, I like to show them my childhood house, all that stuff. And to let them see the things that they can achieve.
Right.
And just to kind of give them hope and let them know that this is temporary. And I understand you want to die right now, but death is so permanent, baby. Your life can change. I was a little girl getting molested in the fourth grade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Life can change. And if you do take your life, you might miss that great opportunity, those things to smile about. And while you're here with me, I want you to smile as much as I possibly can. It's not always going to be perfect. I've had a lot of them tell me they want to leave because I'm a stickler about keeping my house clean. I don't play when it comes to that,
Right. Right.
you know. But yeah,
All right, that's what's up. All right, then. I can tell, I can see the feel, the passion, and the vibe over here. All that energy. So so what are just some of the tough parts of a foster parent that people don't often talk about? You hear some good, but just some of the and actually you've said some of the things, and so I really almost hate to ask this question again, but just some of the tough parts that about being a foster parent that you don't often hear about or people don't often talk about. If you just share a little bit of some of
yeah.
it.
And no, I don't mind you asking. It's a good question.
You know?
When they go visit their biological parents, they come back different. Sometimes they'll go visit their biological parents and then come back. They become they're confused. They become rebellious to you, and you've done nothing wrong.
Right.
They'll tell you they don't have to listen to you. Their biological parents told them they don't have to.
Right.
They'll so you're like reprogramming them all together again. You're like, God, I just finally got this kid to start wiping the pee off the toilet. Now he
Yeah.
got to smell the toilet again. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So things like that happen. That's one of the things you have to deal with them not liking your rules and they say, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna call my caseworker. Whereas with your kids, your biological kids, they get mad at you, screw it, they just mad, what they gonna do? You understand
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thank goodness I've never been investigated. Thank God. But I know several. I know somebody in Colleen, who's a phenomenal foster parent. She's been investigated. They'll investigate you in a minute. If a kid says something, you know what I'm saying? You could be investigated. And I have, if you ever come to my house, you don't have to come out here, Paul. I have exit signs, fire exit signs. It's just that I believe in decorating. So I have like mine in picture frames and stuff.
Right.
But I have exit, like somebody came over, like, why do you have exit signs on your door? Essentially, my house is a business. I have fire extinguishers everywhere. Um, we can't keep any alcohol out. So thank goodness we have a theater. So we keep all the alcohol locked up in the theater room. So the house we had before this, we were fostering there, but I felt like my husband deserved more. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of people who can't afford to buy a house the size of mine. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it comes like you feel like everyone's on top of each other. You don't get your privacy and things of that nature. So that's why I felt like because right now I'm in a 6 bedroom.
Okay.
So I have a suite. So it's a pretty nice size house. So it allows, and then my husband has his theater, you know?
Right.
So it allows my husband to still do his thing, but it can become a lot. Like I remember in an old house, my husband wanted to just sit in the room and watch sports, you know? And then
Right.
here's little kids running through, have a beer. You're not allowed to drink in front of them.
Right. Yeah.
They can't have any nicotine around them, period, point blank.
Mm.
Um, yeah, it's a people showing up I have attorneys at my house all the time.
Yeah. So it's like you had to go through learning school and process and all this. I mean, that's a lot.
I've had to push people out of my life, quote unquote friends, who
Right.
don't respect me and respect my home, and they just want to curse and So a lot of those people I have pushed aside. I could lose my license behind that.
Exactly.
I can't deal. I've worked too hard for this, and I know the goal. So I've had to change a lot of people in my life that I thought supported me, that I thought understood, but they, I had some people in my house you can't. Just some of the things they say in front of the children, I'm like, you can't. These children repeat everything they hear.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you this, and I don't know if you've experienced it, or maybe you have, maybe you hadn't. I just write down a bunch of questions and then I just ask them. So, and they're really not in no particular order. I just be writing stuff down as I be thinking at work when I'm supposed to be working. I'll be getting ready for a podcast. But anyway, so if you can tell us about a moment when a foster child is grown, getting ready to leave, to start their own life, if you've experienced, is there emotion there? How do you feel? Like maybe you've had this one since they were 10 to they're 18 and now they're leaving.
I haven't had any that long.
Okay.
The longest I've ever had was like 2 years.
Okay.
But I'm trying to open up, that's my goal, to open up a transitional home when I'm done. I'm calling this fostering my internship. My goal
Right.
is to open up a transitional home. But even when they leave, it hurts you.
Yeah.
Because like I've had several that have left and I didn't even know where. You talk to CPS like, oh, the mom is still on drugs, this, that, and the other. You're gonna have a kid for a while. Then they'll go to court and the judge will be like, no, send them home.
Yeah.
And I'm literally like throwing their stuff in suitcases and bags, and I have to get them out the same day because the judge said so.
Yeah.
And it does hurt. The first one I had, I cried. I don't do it anymore. It's
Yeah.
like you work at a funeral home, you don't cry every time a dead body comes in, right?
Right.
But my first baby, I call him a baby, but I cried. My husband will tell you, my husband's like, suck it up, suck it up. Yeah, I cried on the first one.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's what's up, there. So, what about just? Is there one happy moment between being a foster parent that sticks out in your mind? You've named quite a few, but this I'm just coming back to this question because I can repeat a few of them. But just some happy moment that stands out to you right now as a foster parent. You just look back and just kind of make you smile. And don't talk about the little girl that you said you saw her. She was just so cute, and I just had to give me that baby.
That was my baby. Yeah, I wanted her bad. So I guess it was like a puppy. I guess it was like, I want her. And it's so funny because my husband even saw, we were seeing her with, my husband saw the picture because he didn't want no little ones. He said, man, go ahead and take her. Like, look, like we were really talking about a puppy. I said, Michael, oh my God, look at her. He's like, go ahead and get her. And I was like, anyway. So, gosh, it's so many moments. I guess I could say, the little boy that didn't talk. He refused to talk. He didn't talk for 2 weeks, period, point blank.
Man.
And his mom had 9 kids.
Ooh.
And he asked me, could I get his sister because she was still in the shelter. So I felt bad. I said, yeah, I'll bring this sister.
Yeah.
This little boy was angry. We couldn't get him to say anything. And do you and I know I got his sister? He started talking.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. And he turned into he became laughable. Because I never hug a kid without asking. I always say hi. When I meet them, I let them know who I am. And I say, is it okay? May I hug you? And if they say no, I say, you know what? That's fine. We'll do this on your time. And I did that with him. And I said, can I hug you still? So every morning he would wake up. I said, can I hug you? And he would say, and I would say, okay. And he was just like, yeah, that's fine. I don't have to. You're going to bed. Good night. May I hug you?
Yeah.
I brought his sister. May I hug you?
Yes.
And then, yes, they're like my little Google reviews. And then when I knew I was doing a good job, when he said to me, and I called my husband ecstatic, which I wasn't going to do it. But he's like, Miss Nika, do you think you could get my other brothers and sisters? You look like them. They're really nice. And I'm like, wait, baby. No. But that was like my little Google review. You know what I'm saying? My little Yelp review. Like when kids are honest. I mean, they lie a lot because all foster children lie. But when it comes to their feelings, they're more honest than the average adult. Right. Adults give you BS. Was the food good? Oh yeah, it was great. No, you full of shit. The food was nasty.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And whereas me, I'm not that person. I say, I'm gonna move right along. That's why a lot of people don't like me, but whatever. Okay. So with the kid, they're honest.
Right. Exactly.
I think I have several happy moments, but I would say that's the most recent happy moment.
Gotcha. Yeah, there's something else. I like that. So I have 2 more questions for you. So one is just asking you about like sporting events or any type of events that you I know you said you rented the deal and y'all went there, but I'm talking about if the kids want to go to a sporting event to watch anything, are they allowed to go there? Do you take them? Do you go with them? Or, any outside events like that?
So if it's I mean, I haven't taken like any big time sporting events. My finances won't, I'm just going to be honest. I don't have it like that. But one day I will. My goal is taking to Disney World eventually.
Right.
But so in reference to like them going to events without me, like local events, oh totally. I'm all about that. Normalcy is important to me. I don't want them to be looked at as, ooh, look at the foster kid.
Right.
So yeah, like especially if I have a teenager, she was in band. If I have a boy now, he's about to start football. Yeah, I'm so about that. I want you to be active. I want you to go to the pool and hang out with your friends. And yeah, I want you to have a normal life.
Exactly, exactly. Normal is, yeah, I like that. So let me say this to all of the viewers that's out there watching right now. I appreciate your support. If you'd like to subscribe to Wizzo Talk, the link is in the description or strolling across the bottom of the screen. You have any comments, whether they now or later, hey, post them in the chat. We'll be able to answer them or reply to them at a later date and time. I just wanted to get that in right there because my last thing to you is there anything that maybe I haven't asked that you'd like to share with the world right now to, let them know about foster parent?
It's rewarding. I love it. If you're going to do it, make sure your intentions are good. Make sure you remember that these kids come with trauma, and then a lot of them are really mature. They're not grown. Some of them are grown, but some are just mature because they've been placed in these adult situations. And hurt people hurt people. So if you do it, just keep that in mind that a lot of it is not based upon being mean, being angry, but it's based upon protection, safety, and hurt, disappointment.
All right.
We deal with it as adults. So can you imagine dealing with it as a child?
Right. Exactly. That is something. Well, with that being said, look, I appreciate you. You've been like for a while. I've struggled getting ladies and women on Wizzo Talk, and now you're what is your second or third time?
It's my third.
Yeah, and so you like a regular. So now I have a group that I just go to, and then some
LZ, you just go.
they have never told me no yet. If they're off, they're here. Except for one, she can't come on Taco Tuesday, so I got to make sure it's not
I
on
already
Tuesday.
know who a few of those are because I usually hang with the league. I'm putting my Taco Tuesday aside for you, Wizzo. Just know, okay?
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it. But I do, and I really appreciate your time for coming on Wizzo Talk each and every time that you come on. So I appreciate it. And as they say, with that being said, ain't nobody mad but the devil, and we can just say F him. And I'm gonna hit this end stream. However, we're not totally. When I hit the end, we're not totally out until I say we're out. So don't say nothing that you might not want to get out.
Did I bust out in a rap or something?
Well, yeah, you can do that if you want to. This is
That
Paul
okay.
Wizzo saying, "Holla at your boy."
Wizzo Talk. Come on, let me stop.
Okay. I'll say keep on going then. Hey, everybody, this is Paul Wizzo saying, "Holla at your boy." I appreciate you.